For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined by my co-host, Sal.
Hello.
We're, of course, reporters in Super City. We work at the Daily Deposit, and we write and podcast about all the crazy things that happen in this town. Sal?
And boy, are there a bunch of them.
There are.
So many crazy things.
Enough to fill many episodes of podcasting and many newspapers to come.
Mm-hmm.
Sal, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
Good.
Did you
full stop?
Should I speak more to that?
Only if you feel comfortable and you want to, you know?
All right. Due to recent events, I'm doing quite well.
Okay. What recent events?
Oh,
if you feel comfortable sharing once again.
Well, I got a burrito for lunch, and the maker of that burrito was very generous with the meat portion. So that's like the most recent thing. That was just like a good way to get through the hump of the day.
What kind of?
I found it.
What kind of meat was it? Like a beef or chicken or like a pork?
Well, we're in our future. Everyone else is present.
Yes.
So of course meat isn't as available. It was synthetic meat.
It was synthetic meat. Oh, you didn't go bugs today? You went with synthetic meat?
I went with the synthetic meat.
Nice. How was it?
You could really get that sort of lab grown taste in it, which is growing on me.
It is literally growing on you.
Yeah, it is literally growing on me. That is how they get more of the synthetic meat. They grow it off of the eaters of it. I guess it's not really synthetic at that point.
Oh, yeah, no. Symbiotic, at least.
Yeah. Maybe I misread.
Well, that's good.
Okay. But yeah, overall, just having a good time. I think we're talking more about it later this episode. But my investigative report into the corruption surrounding the heroes of Super City has hit a bit of a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because of the negotiations that are going on.
Right. Of course, we will be talking about this. I've got a very special guest coming up. We will be talking about this. Of course, there is a strike going on right now with with heroes, the Hero Union, the Sidekick Union, and what do you call them, Sal?
The professional victims, of course.
Right. How could I have forgotten the professional victims? They're the most vocal, really, of those three unions. Of course, they're all in discussions right now to kind of to negotiate for what they think are what they are deserved and or what they're owed. All these things. Of course, the villains union definitely not on strike, still wreaking havoc everywhere. But it just means the vigilantes have had to step up a little bit. Kind of scabbing, honestly, now that I think about it. But hey,
You're hearing it here first. Not only do heroes no longer do paperwork, they no longer do regular work either.
Yeah, so that's mainly what you're right. That's mainly what you're.
That's mainly
what you're writing about right now.
There's been, of course, some revelation. I really don't want to speak too much about this because of our upcoming guest, but there have been some revelations, of course. New information is coming to light surrounding this strike, and it is just really helping sort of give my investigation a little bit more robustness. If I were to classify it in terms of historical art, this information is very Rubenesque, very, very well.
Good. Rubenesque. Yeah, totally. I think, okay, good.
Yes.
Good, okay, cool. And that's what you're working on. Awesome.
And how are things going with you?
Good. I've gotten, I've been sleeping a lot more lately. And it's like last week, it's really led to me, like I've actually been able to get more work done when I get rest.
Right.
It's wild. I thought I was just, if I burnt the candle at both ends, I'd get, the most work done, but really just taking a bit of time. I've gotten some good stories. Do you want to hear about one of the stories I'm writing about right now?
I would love to.
Okay. This one probably, now that I think about it, probably works better in print, but we'll see. Clash of the Titans. Tragedy at local belt tightening contest leaves overambitious champion split in two.
Oh, wow. Oh, Clash of Titans is like a cinching a belt.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. Yeah. What do you think?
That is better in print. But it's very funny.
Good.
It's good.
I'm glad. Yeah, well, I'm just trying to bring a little bit of levity to what is otherwise a pretty sad turn of events.
Someone got bisected.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he did it to himself because he kept going for that record. Who could have the tightest belt on? And he just tightened it. He went a couple notches more. I just wish his family hadn't been there cheering him on. To be honest,
it is so hard to beat Hourglass Larry, who of course is the sentient hourglass with a very, very narrow waist. Yeah. It's so narrow that a single grain of sand passes through it at a time. Yeah. Anyone trying to go up against Hourglass Harry is just they're asking for injury.
Yeah,
it's
a
very sad day. Our best regards to Steven Schneider's family.
Yes, this one goes out to you. Okay, I feel like that was a respectful enough pause. It's really only like half of a pause, which also kind of feels, because he got cut in half. Okay, well,
good. Let's make jokes.
Hey, I'm just trying to bring a little bit of levity to the situation. But we live in serious times, Sal, and well, we're gonna have to talk.
More tragedies should include like a roast element.
Yeah, it just come on. We never make fun of victims. You know what? I'm hating this already as I'm doing this. I feel like I should probably reassess my values as a reporter and maybe do less jokey titles. I just want it to be fun. I want to grab people's attention.
You know what? I am on your side in this. I do think there's value to sort of, if it's something's important, you should be allowed to laugh about it.
Yeah, right?
Because it's hard to approach a difficult topic when it's just so serious. The problem is you start a train of jokes. Eventually you stop talking about the serious thing and now you're just joking about it. So there is a line.
There's got to be a line there. Yeah. Well, I've got a real like attention problem. So if I have something's really boring, I will check out pretty quickly. So they need to get my attention right away with a joke. And so I guess I'm writing for people like me. I don't know.
Yeah. The War Memorial is actually taking a page out of your notebook here. And so like after in between each horrific thing that is being memorialized, they just have like a little quip.
like the jokes you'd find on like a popsicle stick or like a Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, like World War II, more like World War Boo. I didn't like that.
Oh, good. Okay, so they're like cool. So they're like war related jokes. They're like on topic. Okay.
Well, like they're trying to joke about it, make it a little lighter.
Okay. Huh. Well, I guess I really should be careful with how I'm writing things. If people like the war memorials around Super City are taking a page out of my book, I really need to wield this power with a certain higher level of responsibility, one might say, right?
Hey, I mean, if people are already adapting to you, that means you're doing something right. So,
interesting.
Maybe stick with it.
Okay, and I'll just try not to let this power and influence go to my head.
Yeah, I can't see how having power to have others rewrite history could ever go wrong.
Yeah, but come on. All right, well, okay, Sal, I'm so excited to talk to our guest. Let's go to ads real quick. We'll come back and we'll talk to our surprise special guest.
Can't wait.
Arcane Ninja RPG tells a story about ninjas and magic by mixing improv and role-playing. Meet our fledgling ninja and fall for them as they take their graduation exam and stumble upon unknown magic that will send them in an epic adventure. Root for them as the dice dictate just how successfully they face the threatening challenges that lay ahead. Binge on published episodes at the Pod Cavern Network or your podcast station of choice. Tune in every other Tuesday for your bi-weekly fix of Arcane Ninja RPG.
Thanks for listening. And we're back. All right, Sal. I can tell. Thank you for actually sitting with us through the very short break, Sal. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to introduce this guest, returning guest to the show, a friend of the show we haven't had on in, 5 or 6 years at least. But I don't think we've seen this guest since, I think it was episode 4. Please welcome to the show, head talent recruiter at Marge's Talent, as well as CEO of Marge's Talent, Marge O'Donnell. Welcome to the show, Marge. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me back. I have not been too busy, so I've been waiting for your call for a long time.
Well, I'm so sorry. We just got so busy with, all just the ups and downs of Sal and my life and our career changes. And of course, we were in another dimension for a long time. Didn't feel like a long time to us. These things happen. But I'm glad I hope we didn't keep you waiting too long, but I'm glad we get to sit down and talk with you again.
Well, it's exciting because I represent all these people and I get them all these gigs or whatever, but like I don't have gigs, I'm no celebrity, and so this feels special to me. And I can't obviously do print media or video media, so this is really the only thing I can do, and I'm loving it a lot.
Of course. To remind guests, if you haven't listened since episode 4, Marge has the unique power of turning invisible, but it's only when cameras are on you, right?
That's correct. Yeah, if there's a camera on me, I cannot be seen. But audio, loud and clear.
Now, we live ever more, like the super city that Sal and I have returned to is I would say, even more of a surveillance state than it was when we first when we first left. Would you agree to that, Sal?
Oh yeah, 100%. There are just so many pigeons with cameras on them that just fly around surveilling.
So, yeah, do you find yourself just turning invisible more frequently than maybe before?
Yes, I've done a lot of shoplifting since we last spoke. Because since I cannot be seen, I have really carte blanche to do all that kind of stuff. So I'm hugely grateful to the pigeons with security cameras, but I know most are not.
Yeah, well, silver lining. It seems like you found a silver lining to this oppressive surveillance state we find ourselves in now. Well, I'm glad you came on the show today because I know you're involved with the hero, sidekick, and professional victim strikes going on right now. You're part of that, and I just kind of really wanted to get someone's insight on it as to what's going on. We want to inform our readers and our listeners about that.
Yeah, I think it started out very reasonably. I think they were all looking for better working conditions and higher wages and like streaming residuals, for like when they play the clips on the news.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and not to be replaced by robot heroes. That's the other thing.
That's the other thing that they did not want at all. Yeah, the robots that teach themselves how to fight crime. And they get better at it over time. We don't want that. We don't need or they could write you a paper or whatever. Yeah. They hated that. And I'm not a fan of it either. And so...
Me neither, I gotta say.
I'm very anti whatever that is. And so I was on board. I mean, I knew that it would mean that I was not getting my 15%. But also, let's be honest, if they get higher pay rates, my 15% goes further. So I was okay with it.
It trickles down, truly.
It truly does. Trickle down economics. The only place it works is Super City.
It's Super City. Yep.
And so I was with them. I was on the picket line. Obviously, you're not going to find any proof of that, but I'm telling you I was there. And a lot of people will tell you I was there.
I'm sure we could find like a picture with a floating sign in it.
Yeah, that was me. Yes, that was me. I think you guys read
that was you.
Yeah, you guys read that. That was
I think we did, yeah.
The cover of the newspaper. It was front page. Above the fold.
We took it totally the wrong way. We thought it was haunted. We actually we were kind of like a fear piece.
I am
so sorry.
So over being confused with a ghost. Right. I can't even tell you. I am alive. Like I'll just say that right now.
Okay.
I'm alive.
Okay. You look alive, and we can see you because we're recording this in one of the side offices at the Daily Deposit. There's no cameras, and it's actually just kind of a room with a single light bulb in it, where it's a pretty bare bones room. We don't want any, and we can see you. Sal and I can see you, and you're looking good. It's been a long time.
Decidedly non-ghost like
and
corporeal even.
I would say, and I want to say to you two that I think it's really cool you're sitting in your chairs backwards. I think that's pretty neat.
Well, we want to approach it in a non-threatening, cool kind of way. I'm glad you noticed. Honestly, I'm glad you noticed.
We're just here to jam,
We just want to rap about what's going on, We just want a better, just kind of laid back, you know?
We're here to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really a symbiotic vibe that I'm into.
That if at any point, if you feel like spinning your chair around and joining us, feel free. But no pressure. No pressure here.
Here, I'm even going to loosen my tie.
Wow.
Whoa!
I've never seen him do that.
He's so casual.
So, there we go.
Wow. It's so casual. I, of course, always dress casual. It's kind of my thing. But, you know, it's extra casual. So there's these discussions going on. And like you said, you know, the strike started in a very reasonable place. Now, Sal and I have recently been kind of digging into some suspected corruption within some of the professional heroing around Super City. And we've started to see some trends where the requests made by certain members of these unions are getting a little, let's say unreasonable.
Yeah.
And that's where stuff is kind of ground to a halt in terms of.
I'm just getting. There's a short
Sal,
list
you have
here.
a couple,
We got,
right?
Yeah. They wanted more flammable materials in buildings, specifically high rises. Removal of safety rails, just a blanket
across the city.
Blanket statement. Let's see here. Water reservoirs more accessible and less filtration. I guess like a poison angle there.
Okay.
Really, all of these requests seem sort of targeted towards making dangerous situations more likely, you know, upping the chances that a hero would
be needed
to intervene.
Yeah. Because certain heroes, it seems like certain heroes are feeling left out, you know, like buildings burning down, not that common in most districts in Super City. Of course, you've got the Matchstick District, you've got the House of Cards District, and those Cardboard District we were just in, they've got rainy season, but when it dries out, they big fires and stuff, very scary. But certain heroes, you know, are feeling left out because they don't get to participate in the, let's say, traumatic events that they are best equipped to deal with. And so these safeties, they want to remove certain safety precautions. Sal, I'm understand that correctly?
And I think you said, you know, you brought up Bill Burnings down. He's a villain who is working a lot right now.
Sorry. Yes, I did say buildings burning down, but I actually said it too quickly. It is Bill D. Burnings down. He is he's a villain, right?
Yeah.
He's a fire villain. Who is he is he's like a reverse contractor. It's very weird. Right, Sal? He walks into places and he's burning stuff down, pulling drywall off. I shouldn't be able to do this, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's the entire time he's just setting things on fire and says this wasn't installed right, and then he just lights it up.
Then he lights it up, and it's so. I mean, because the villains are working so much right now, I did reach out.
Really?
To Bill.
Oh, interesting.
Because you haven't represented a villain before, right? You've only represented heroes before, right?
Only heroes. I mean, there's been a bit of nuance, but no one who like explicitly villain.
Sure. Right. The less you know, sometimes you just don't want to know.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But he really wants to do things his own style. He doesn't like the idea of giving up a percentage, and he can negotiate all his own. He's got that flair. So anyway, I reached out to him.
He's got a flair.
He has tons of flair.
His head is a big flare.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I appreciate your approach to this. You know, of just like, you know, where your skills lie, and it's promoting the super heroics or even just the super powered antics of certain people, be they hero or villain. You know, you're here to enable people and make sure the world we live in, I guess, is a little more interesting.
That's it, exactly. That's my goal. I think I'm not really driven by morality, more so by spectacle.
An interesting way to live one's life, but it does fall in line with your whole shoplifting thing earlier, so at least you're consistent. It's good.
Yeah. But wow, I did. You know, Marge, I guess I forgot since our last visit. I guess I didn't really pin you for like an agent of chaos, but you certainly have. You've gotten your look has changed a little bit since we saw you last. You've got like your hair is jet black now.
You seem to have like a cargo jacket with is that a A on an armband?
Yeah, that's an A on an armband. Yeah.
Are you an anarchist now?
I don't understand why anybody would set up some rules that everybody's got to follow. That seems so wild to me. Like, we're all different people. We all have a different moral compass, and things kind of work. So
honestly, you're kind of selling me.
Yeah. I mean, and listen. Oh, let's be clear. I'm not setting anything on fire.
No, of course not.
But if other people do, that's what other people do. And why should they not have somebody in their corner advocating for them to make sure they get their rider? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I do. I do kind of want everyone to be enabled to make their own choices, maybe make their own mistakes as part of freedom. And I guess I kind of understand what you're going for, huh?
I'm actually 100% on board with what's being said here.
Thank you, Sal.
Angus, you may recall that.
Yeah.
I was briefly with a road warrior gang.
Yes, that's right.
And one of the first things I did was implement a series of rules and legislation so that we could enact our anarchy in a sensible manner. And I'm getting the sense here, Marge, that you're kind of seeking something similar here, where let people do as they please, but let's also all be on the same page about it.
Yeah. Like, certainly, like, there's certain working conditions that everyone should have, and there's like a minimum payment or whatever, and I make sure that happens for people to do whatever they want in.
Now, Marge, you were talking about, like, like riders and stuff like that. I am still really interested in, outside the strikes for a moment, with your job as like a promoter of heroics and villainy and all these kinds of things, super powered people. What kind of problems do you have to deal with on a daily basis when you're working with one of your clients?
Yeah, well, okay, so some of them, it's more like emotional stuff.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So some of them, I'll just say it, divas.
Okay. Yeah. They can be a little bit theatrical.
They can be divas.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, here's an example. I had a client recently who was saving lives, doing a day saving lives. And they requested chocolate-covered raisins.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
They wanted to have that. And so I put that in. Okay. We get to the life-saving place that they're going to be working at that day. And there are yogurt-covered raisins.
Oh, dear.
Wow. Okay.
And boom, it exploded. You know what I mean? Like, the person was not having it.
Right.
They didn't want to be saving anybody.
And that impacted their ability to save. Exactly.
I mean, well, let's all be honest. Chocolate versus yogurt-covered raisins is not going to affect anybody's ability to save lives. But mentally,
of course,
if you think you're not being treated properly,
I guess
I'm not in a life-threatening situation ever, really, in the line of journalism. My life is rarely threatened. Nonetheless, if I don't have my favorite snack, I find myself working less effectively. Yeah. Now, I can imagine that's only amplified when you are in a life-threatening situation.
Oh, it's huge.
I am curious here now, just because I kind of understand, I think, what you're going for here. But so your client, who shall remain nameless, a hero going to a place to save people, and then they're expecting chocolate covered raisins. Who is meant to provide these chocolate covered the victims or the perpetrators, or just are you meant to bring these things? I guess that's where I'm a little lost.
So all right, so every time that there is a superhero event, we'll say, or supervillain event, we'll say,
sure,
there's a whole production team.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So there's like craft services. There's like
you got your
lighting teams and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got your grips, your best boy. Everybody's there. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's the craft services that's meant to do that.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize it because I mean, between you and me, Marge, we are I've been moonlighting a little bit as a vigilante.
No way.
And unrepresented.
As of currently.
As of currently, we'll see. But I kind of just show up where there's trouble and I help people, and then I leave before law enforcement shows up. And so I'm not really seeing these big budget.
That's the amateur
big
thing.
Budget. Okay, gotcha. I'm still in kind of the amateur circuit
because you're not part of the union.
I generally just seems. I'm not part of the. I'm not part of the union. I'm not a legally certified hero. I'm just trying to do the right thing out there.
Wouldn't that technically make you a scab?
I guess it would. Ooh. Oh, that doesn't feel good. But
But at the same time, they are negotiating for fewer safety regulations, so
and that's just what
it's kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
I guess it is really complicated. I certainly don't want to advocate for scabbing, but
I think if you were doing,
on top of that, you doing whatever you please is like anarchy. So
yeah,
and I think if you were doing it 3 months ago, I would have a different opinion on it. 3 months ago, when they had very reasonable requests, but now that things have gotten crazy with the trying to remove safety regulations, it's like.
It's getting out of hand. Like we need to come back to the table. We need to talk. We need to make this work.
Yeah.
Right. But this is making me think a lot. Maybe I need to take myself a little more seriously here and either give it up or
join
the union.
How many? Can I ask how many vigilante gigs you've done?
I mean, it's slowed down a little bit lately because I've gone back to sleeping at night. But I don't know. I do like 2-3 a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Like mostly muggings. It's a lot of muggings, or someone falls down and they just need someone to kind of help them up a staircase.
There was that old lady that needed you to plug in her router.
Yes, yeah. I set up an old woman's router.
And you did that outside
I carried groceries for a couple of people. I did. Oh no, is the router one? That's the.
No, well, I'm just.
Marge has a very serious look on her face.
Oh no!
But
oh no!
If I believed in rules, I might be reporting someone. But alas, I do not.
Thankfully, I'm glad you're on this. I'm glad you're on this anarchist kick. How long have you been on this anarchist kick? Is this like a long thing since we saw you last, or is this kind of just a
it was immediately after I left the building.
Oh, good. So you spoke to us. Oh, this is so good. You spoke to us, and you were into rules and all these kinds of things. One interaction with us, and you're like, you know what? I got to do something totally different.
Somebody handed me a flyer on the street. As soon as I walked out, I got one flyer, and it changed my life.
Wow, that sounds like a very impressive flyer.
It was good. They used Canva, I think.
Wow, I don't even know what that is.
It's a flyer making tool.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Okay, wow. Okay, so enough about us and our personal stuff. I gotta work that stuff out. But with these strikes going on, we've got our sidekicks and our the professional victims. I didn't even realize that was a union. I knew there were some people who kind of. It's an association. Okay, now what is their whole deal? They just show up. They put themselves in dangerous situations.
That's right. Yeah. So the heroes and the sidekicks, those are unions. The victims are an association. Now they would
the victims aren't allowed to speak, right?
Oh,
during
no.
their parts,
right? No.
Although, if they're fortunate, they may get a screaming role.
Oh, okay.
Help me!
Yeah, that stuff is very compelling, but it's hard to come by.
Do you represent any victims?
Oh, yeah. Tons of them.
Tons.
Because...
Well, they're desperate.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, and extremely available. Like, they will... I get victims coming into my office all the time, and it's fun because they play this little game where they want to show me what a good victim they are. So they'll be like, my arm.
They want to play the victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So they come in.
Wow.
All sad, crying, in pain. And then they're like, "What'd you think?"
Maybe they come in. It's like, I was the victim of a social injustice, and then you hear it, and you're like, well,
maybe yeah. Okay, well, I got it. Do you have any really solid victims that just keep getting a lot of work?
Yes, I do. I got this one guy, Andrew.
Andrew. Oh.
Yeah, Andrew's working a lot. He has this crying face that is so compelling.
Oh.
And so people love to see that little baby boy cry.
Interesting. So it's a child.
Yeah, it's a baby. Andrew is a baby.
It's a baby. I didn't realize. Oh wow. Okay, cool. Well, and you're taking probably, this is a young performer, young professional. You're you as their representative, you're not taking like a massive cut or anything. I hope not,
65%.
right?
He can't advocate for himself.
Jesus. I bet Andrew's parents are real chill and great people to talk to.
They're so happy that they're getting anything at all. It's a real Elvis or whatever that guy's name was situation.
Yes. Do you think that the parents deep down can you tell that the parents maybe they wish they had been professional victims?
Oh god, yeah. No, not even heroes.
Yeah.
They really are like.
Oh wow.
Are
Okay.
very delusional. They'll put this child in any situation, and I will cash in on that.
Wow. This has been eye opening for myself and Sal, I think, right?
Well, I've always been perplexed how in every situation that someone needs rescuing from, there always just happens to be a baby.
Yeah.
And I noticed, I'm like, this is a familiar baby because that crying face stands out. And now that you showed me these headshots.
Yeah, thank you for showing us these headshots.
I'm trying to push him. Listen, I'm trying to get him.
It's the same baby. It's and you know what? I gotta agree with Marge. That is a solid crying face. Yeah. That's a face I want to see in tears more.
I won't lie. Seeing these pictures, my heart breaks, and I want to help this kid certainly.
Yep.
So that's got to be the right effect. Well, man, Marge, this is great. I feel like we should have kept in touch after this first episode more, and maybe had you help us book some guests for the show. I'm trying to think if we even floated that idea. I feel like you'd be an excellent contact for booking guests for this show.
I would think.
Do you think maybe? Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Is that chair turning around? Okay. How does it feel?
Now.
Yes. I'll put it in there, Marge. All right. Well, okay. How about this? Marge, it has been great talking to you. Great catching up, honestly. And I feel like, I have a lot to learn about the industry of superheroics. And I feel like I've been maybe going about it the wrong way. Do you think maybe I could get your business card, and maybe we could talk more in the future about my future and these kinds of opportunities?
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay.
Because what I heard too, with how many vigilante gigs you've done, is that it seems like next step, right, is to join the union and go for those bigger gigs. Because I don't even know if you know this. Those vigilante gigs, like, okay, so when you stop a mugging and the old lady has her purse and she's like, oh my god, thank you so much, and as a sign of gratitude, like, gives you a $25 gift certificate to somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, if you were part of the union, that would be a $50 gift certificate.
Wow.
The union takes
and then Sal and I could both eat at Arby's.
Yes, you could both eat at Arby's. Because the union takes a cut of the gift certificate of non-members of the Arby's gift card.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't even realize that.
It's, I would say, punitive. I would say punitive to non-members. I'd say it.
Yeah. Sal, what are you thinking?
I am amazed that the union is capable of finding out about these very specific gift cards and clawing back their cut.
Honestly, maybe if they invested more of their time and resources into, preventing atrocities and stuff like that, rather than just clawing back every single time.
So their point of view on the situation is that even though you are a non-member, you are benefiting from their advocacy work or whatever. and they want you to join.
Sure.
They want you to join.
Sure.
So they're taking this claw back, and there's going to be like membership dues when you try to join. But those Arby's gift certificates, you have to pay Arby's gift certificates. You're already going to be probably at this point, depending on how many you've done, like $500 in. So that's going to be closer to your dues. It's a whole thing.
Okay. And I honestly, sometimes I'll do a job, like I'll stop a mugging, and it's usually an elderly person for some reason. Like they'll reach in their wallet and they'll be like, oh, you know what? I don't have any vouchers left, but this is great exposure for you.
Yeah.
And they just kind of tell me that. Is there anything I can do with that?
Absolutely nothing. There is absolutely nothing. You have chosen to be a vigilante on the superhero pipeline, so that's just something you got to deal with.
Interesting.
Okay. I just have to. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well. Wow. I feel like that's a great place to end it. I think that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. For those of you listening at home, remember, try to do the right thing. Thank you again, Marge, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I will definitely be calling you because I need to learn more about this if I'm gonna. I don't know. Am I seriously like trying to make a run at this, Sal? Like, should I actually try to go pro?
Well, hold on here. Let me just take this headshot of Andrew.
Okay.
Angus, you cradle that like you just rescued him from a burning building.
Okay. Okay.
Marge, what do you think?
That's great. That's very.
What if I did something like this with my face?
Ooh, acting.
Yeah, I did a little bit. I did like improv and stuff like that in high school. It's so maybe just a little bit of like a little smolder or something.
Yeah, I would trust you to stop villainy in its tracks. I would.
Wow. Okay. Well, just gotta do something out of this backpack because it's a lot of people have called it repugnant.
Yeah, I can't tell if Andrew would be crying from the whole crime thing or from your appearance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll figure this out. Okay. Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow was played by Matthew Walling. Marge O'Donnell was played by Sarah Conway. Sarah's an actor and improviser and self-proclaimed bi-coastal girly living between Vancouver and St. John's. If you ever get the chance to see her in an improv show, I highly recommend it. If you like the show and want to support it, or any of the other shows in the Podcavern network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. If you like the show and want to support it, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, and stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.